Ruth. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, Council. So before you, page 21 in your packet, the request to amend your fiscal 21-25 multi-year funding agreement with U.S. Department of the Interior. So annually, as we have made estimates of the funds available for the next fiscal year, we actually have to incorporate an amendment to that 5-year agreement. So that's what this amendment will do. On page 22, beginning 22, continuing through 23, and on to 24, you're going to see there that the estimated total is 12.18 million. And then there's footnotes attached to some of that funding, usually to note that it is a non-recurring amount or is based on something other than our base funding. And then 26 is the actual amendment that chairman will be requested to sign. We transmit that to self-governance, and then we are ready to go forward in fiscal 23.
Well, it looks pretty straightforward.
Well, about as straight as I can make it, Mr. Chairman.
I don't want to argue with those numbers.
I know. And just for your information, if you have had time to peruse that, you see on the left side what's called program title. It sometimes, but not always, corresponds to our program that we budget the funding into. But it's fairly close and pretty well easy to guess at if you're not sure. And the far right, what's called total AFA, that's the amount we'd expect to pass forward. So we put all of these numbers together earlier in the year and had already estimated based on what we already received, because unfortunately the numbers just do not change much unless there's an appropriated increase by Congress. So we simply get to carry them forward and let you know to comport with the budget requests by the actual programs, not to be too far above the annual funding unless there's a reserve to acquire for that, and which we do have, and you were informed of that. So, you know, just as I said, that bottom number, this year alone, we're almost to 16 million. In addition to the base funding that we start the year with by this amendment, we will always have funds that come forward that are not in the base, not in the recurring amounts. So that's why we usually always receive more than what is the beginning negotiated amount. And those are going to be for things like the irrigation project work. Sometimes forestry gets quite a bit of non-recurring funding for project work, things like that. So I know that's a lot to throw at you, the detail anyway, but any questions at all, just feel free to get a hold of me and I'll step you through it.
Any additional questions for Ruth? Motion by Mike to approve the resolution to amend the fiscal year 2021 to 2025 multi-year funding agreement with the U.S. Department of Interior, Indian Affairs, to agree to the estimated funding pursuant to fiscal year 2023 reprogramming request worksheet. Second by Ellie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous.
Thank you much.
Yeah, they're zooming. Carol and Martin are zooming. Yeah. Michael Edward Pierre, aka Fast Eddie. Come on up, buddy. We try to do our jobs here. Gotta push the button on the mic though, Mike. No mic pundit intended.
There we go. Good afternoon. I'm here to present the resolution for our 2023 application, but it says 2022, so we can make that little change. So this resolution is for our ongoing commodity distribution down in St. Ignatius.
Another one pretty straightforward. Any questions from council? Motion by Len to approve the resolution. Second by Mike. Any further discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor, show of hands. We say yes unanimously to commodity cheese.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
You bet. We'll see you now.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, next would be Patty.
No, that one is the one that was canceled
Oh, okay, that was,
with Kathleen
okay.
Ross. Aaron is driving to come here, so maybe a quick little break and I'll go get Mark and them here.
Yeah,
See
we
if
can do the
get
bid
that done.
openings?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. Quick break.
Are we doing the bids or is Lance doing the bid?
We're gonna, I'm gonna have Ellie, open them and read them.
No, how they kind of done it on, email. They're gonna have everybody sit right there, the ones, and they asked the chairman or Ellie or somebody to go, they'll open it and then Ellie's gonna have to read the name and the amount. Cheryl will probably be there to write it down and like that. But they just wanted to do it during council, but I'm gonna stop this so then we can record it and then stop it, so I'll be able to go back onto the everyone email right after.
Manage this however appropriate. Thank you,
What
Jen.
need to do?
We wanna make sure it's above board. NEPA state. Yeah, you bet. It's great.
So what we'll be doing today is gonna be opening up the Mountain View home that went up for bid about a month ago. We advertised for a month for transparency, the lands department. Last time on the Collins House down in Evero, we had J Blue open, Zane and Pitts read, and Shara recorded. We recorded it and then posted it out on Facebook and YouTube. This time, we are in the hopes of doing it here through council, having the secretary and treasurer, Ms. Bundy, to come down and read them. Brad will open and then hand them to Ellie, and the Ellie will read it and Shara will record it. We'll be going through just like if this was an actual bid opening in front of the public, where we will read the name of the bidder and then the amount of the bid. When that all gets done, what we do is we tally up everything, who was the bidder, what were the prices, and how it was wrote out. And then we will represent that to tribal council for approval of the best bid. This bid alone has tallied over 30, I think it's 30 actual sealed bids that came into the office throughout the month. Every time they did come to the office, they were date stamped and then put in the secured location at the home site lease office, where the door was locked every night too, so there was no access for anybody to be going in there and tampering with them. So we keep them in a locked, safe area while the bid process is open. We kept it going for an additional 2 weeks after the closing, just to make sure if anybody mailed anything in that it was here and it was calculated for. There's always still some errors that could happen out there with the mail losing something or anything like that, or being delayed. That could always be a potential. But as of right now, we go off of what's at the office and what was stamped and everything at the post office, make sure they were postmarked by the day they were said. So we have everybody there. Brad was actually, since we were supposed to be going on later this afternoon, he was actually just writing down to Mission for a home site lease compliance issue. So they were going to turn around. He was turning around and coming back. And then Sheriff Hoskinson was grabbing the paperwork to come down.
Okay. You don't have any conflict of interest in this, do you? You put in bid?
No.
No relatives? Okay. I almost did. Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mark, I was watching that last bid opening.
Yes.
And after the bids were opened, Zane and went through and said, the winning bid is, I would avoid saying something like that in any bid opening myself. If
Correct.
a bid was ever disqualified for some reason, you wouldn't want that statement out there.
Right. That's why we don't usually, I came up and I told them, you can't say that because of this reason. It has to go back through to get the approval. We can't announce an approval right here during the opening for one reason or another. Since Brad is not here, I believe, Holly, do you know if you have any conflicts of anybody that you know that turned in? We'll have Holly come in and open. I have heard, I have family that put stuff in, so I am stepping back away from the table and we'll have Holly open instead of Brad. Ellie can read and then Shara will tally. Thank you.
Sounds good. Is this like a record number of bids?
Yes.
Okay,
I am also gonna stop recording and then start it again, so that'll be a
okay, sounds good. Thank you.